The planet was called Estra 9, and the settlers loved it from the first day. Dr. Miraholt had seen many strange worlds in her career, but none like this one. The air was warm, the soil was soft, and the wounds healed fast, faster than anything she had ever recorded. A child fell from a tree and broke his arm. By morning, the bone was whole again. A worker cut his hand on rusted metal. By the next sunrise, there was no scar at all. The settlers called it a miracle. They called Estra 9 the gentle world. Mira did not call it gentle. She called it strange, because not every wound healed. Some scars stayed. Old scars. Scars the settlers did not remember getting. A woman named Talia had a long mark across her back. She swore she had never been hurt there. Her husband had a faint line on his neck, thin as a thread, and he laughed when Mira asked about it. "I don't know," he said. "Maybe I was born with it." But Mira had seen his medical scans from Earth. There was no scar then. She began to ask more questions. Quietly, carefully, she found 6 people with scars they could not explain. All different shapes. All in places easy to hide: backs, necks, the inside of an arm. The planet healed everything new. But something here had already hurt them before they arrived. That night, Mira walked to the edge of the colony and looked at the dark hills beyond the fence. The wind was calm. The ground was quiet. But for the first time since landing on Estra 9, she felt watched. Mira did not sleep that night. She sat in her small lab, looking at the scans of the 6 settlers. Each scar was old. Each scar had healed long before the planet ever touched them. But none of them remembered the wound. In the morning, she went to the colony leader, a tired man named Director Hask. She showed him the scans. "It's strange," Hask said. "But people forget things. Old injuries, childhood accidents." 6 people, Mira said. 6 different scars. All hidden. All the same age, about 2 years old. Hask frowned. What happened 2 years ago? Mira did not answer right away. 2 years ago was when the colony ship first entered orbit around Estra 9. Before they landed. Before anyone set foot on the soil. That night, she could not stop thinking about it. She walked through the colony, checking on people, asking small questions. A teenage boy named Eli had a faint scar behind his ear. He did not remember it either. "Maybe it happened on the ship," Eli said. "During the long sleep. We were frozen, right? Maybe something happened while we slept." Myra's hands went cold. The colony ship had used deep sleep pods for the 2-year journey. No one was awake. No one could remember anything from that time. She rushed back to her lab and pulled up the ship's old sleep records. Most of the data was normal. But one section was strange. A short gap in the recordings. 11 minutes, somewhere in the middle of the journey, where the system had stopped logging. 11 minutes where nobody knew what happened. 11 minutes that planet Estra 9 could not heal away. Mira stared at the screen, her heart pounding. Whatever happened during those 11 minutes, the scars were proof. And something out there might still know the truth. Mira spent the whole day going through the ship's old systems. She found an engineer named Doran who still remembered the launch codes. Together, they opened a hidden backup drive. One that nobody had checked since landing. Inside was a short video file. 11 minutes long. They watched it together in silence. The footage showed the inside of the sleep chamber, dark and quiet, all the pods closed and still. Then, slowly, a strange blue light moved through the room. It was not part of the ship. Passed through the walls like mist. The light touched each pod one by one. When it touched a pod, the sleeping person inside twitched, just slightly, as if feeling pain in a dream. Then the light moved to the next pod. It was searching for something. When the light reached pod 6, Talia's pod, it stopped. It stayed there for almost 2 minutes. Then a thin mark appeared on her back, the same scar Mira had found. "This is not normal," Doran whispered. "We were in deep space. There was nothing out there." Mira paused the video. Nothing we could see. She kept watching. The light visited 6 pods in total: Talia, her husband, Eli, and 3 others. The same 6 people with the same unexplained scars. At the very end of the recording, the light gathered into a small shape, almost like a hand, and pressed against the camera lens. For 1 second, it looked like it was studying the ship itself. Then it vanished. Mira sat back, her mind racing. The light was not random. It had chosen these 6 people for a reason, and whatever touched them had followed them, all the way down to the surface of Estra 9. Now it was waiting somewhere on this planet, watching the colony grow. Mira knew she could not keep this secret any longer. She called Director Hask and showed him the video. His face turned pale. "We need to warn everyone," she said, but Hask shook his head. "If people panic, the colony will fall apart. We need proof first. Real proof." That night, something happened that ended the argument. Eli, the teenage boy with the scar behind his ear, did not come home for dinner. His mother searched the colony, then the fields, then the edge of the fence. By midnight, the whole settlement was awake, calling his name into the dark hills. They found him near the tree line, sitting calmly on the ground, looking at the stars. He did not answer when they called him. When his mother touched his shoulder, he turned his head slowly, and his eyes looked strange, calm, but empty, like he was somewhere else. "I was talking to someone," Eli said quietly. "They said sorry." "Who said sorry?" his mother asked, her voice shaking. Eli pointed to the dark hills. "The blue ones." Mira arrived just in time to hear this. She knelt beside Eli and checked his pulse, his eyes, his skin. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Except for one thing. The scar behind his ear was glowing faintly, a soft blue light fading in and out like a heartbeat. She looked toward the hills. For a moment, she thought she saw the same blue light moving between the trees, far away, watching them. Hask arrived, breathless, and saw the glow on Eli's scar. His face went white. "It's not just in the ship's memory," Mira said. "It's still here." The wind picked up, cold and sharp, carrying a strange whisper through the dark, almost like a voice trying to explain something none of them were ready to hear. The next morning, the 6 marked settlers all woke up with the same strange feeling. A pull, gentle but firm, calling them toward the hills. Talia described it like a quiet voice asking her to take a walk. Eli said it felt like someone waiting for him outside, patient and kind. Hask wanted to lock them inside the colony walls. Mira disagreed. "If we trap them, we will never understand what is happening," she said. "And if these beings wanted to hurt us, they had 2 years to do it. They didn't." After a long debate, Hask agreed to one careful test. Mira and Doran would follow the 6 settlers to the hills, with recording equipment, but no weapons. If anything went wrong, they would retreat immediately. The 6 walked together, calm and steady, as if they already knew the way. Mira followed close behind, her heart pounding with every step. At the top of the hill, the trees opened into a small clearing. In the center stood a structure unlike anything Mira had seen. Smooth, curved, glowing faintly blue, half buried in the earth like it had been there for thousands of years. As the settlers stepped closer, the blue light rose from the structure and surrounded them gently, the same light from the ship's old video. Then, for the first time, the light spoke. Not with sound, but with a feeling that appeared directly in their minds, calm, sorrowful, and clear. "We marked you to find you again. We are sorry for the pain. We needed to know if your kind could heal." Mira stepped forward slowly. "Heal from what?" The light shifted, and an image formed in the air. A dying world, cracked and gray, its people fading away, searching for any species strong enough to carry their memory forward. "We are the last of our kind," the voice said, "and we chose you to remember us." For a long moment, no one spoke. The blue light pulsed softly, waiting. Mira finally found her voice. "Remember you how?" The light showed another image. A vast archive, built from light and memory, holding the entire history of a dying civilization. They had no bodies left, no world, no voice of their own anymore. All that remained was this single structure and the small marks they had placed inside 6 sleeping humans, searching for a species patient enough to listen. "We did not want to frighten you," the voice said, "but we had no time and no other way to ask." Talia stepped forward, touching the scar on her back. "You were never trying to hurt us." Never, the light answered. We needed to know your kind, your courage, your kindness. You are the first who did not run from us. Mira looked at Hask, then at the 6 settlers standing calmly in the blue glow. She understood now. This was not an invasion. It was a final request from a people who had nothing left except memory. We can help, Mira said. We can carry your story forward. The light grew brighter, almost like relief. Over the following weeks, the colony worked side by side with the dying civilization's archive, recording their history, their language, their lost cities, preserving everything before the structure's light faded forever. The 6 settlers became something new, not infected, not changed, but trusted. Living bridges between 2 different worlds. On the final night, the blue light gathered one last time above the hills, and a quiet voice whispered through the wind to every settler listening. Thank you for remembering us. Then the light disappeared, leaving only a calm and gentle planet. A world that had healed every wound except the one that needed to be heard. And in its place, humanity carried forward a story that would never be forgotten.